So good morning, I'm Dr. Arjun Kalyanpur. I'm the Chief Radiologist and founder of Teleradiology Solutions and Telerad Tech based in Bangalore, India. So there are some very interesting trends happening in radiology today, and these are mostly related to the trends in healthcare in general. So if we look at it, the prevalence of the non-communicable diseases, in particular what we call the big three, that is cancer, heart disease and stroke, these are continuing to increase both in India and across the world. And these are all conditions that require imaging or scanning at some point in time, and usually at multiple points in time. So a patient with a malignancy or a cancer will require imaging tests to make the diagnosis and then subsequent imaging tests for follow-up. Similarly with heart disease and with stroke. So the utilization of radiology across the world is increasing by leaps and bounds, and all the trends and numbers have shown dramatic increases in the number of scans that are being done across the world. In parallel though, we have not kept up in terms of the number of radiologists that are required to interpret and analyze these scans that are being generated. So in India, for example, we have 15,000 radiologists for a population of 1.3 billion, which is just about one radiologist per 1 lakh population, and that is a very, very small number. So the radiologist shortage is another trend which we see, which is continuing to get worse because of the fact that we are not able to train radiologists fast enough to meet the demand. So the mismatch between the amount of scanning that is happening, which is necessary for the population, and the number of radiologists that are available to interpret these scans, to report these scans, is, as I see it, the single most important trend that needs to be addressed going forward. So because of this mismatch between the availability of radiologists and the number of images that are being generated, we have a situation where we need to use technology to make radiology more effective, the delivery of radiology services more effective. So one of the trends that we have seen in the past decade is that of the teleradiology or telehealth, where the radiologist does not have to be at the site where the images are acquired. And this provides several advantages in the sense that the images can be acquired in any hospital in a remote area. Even if the radiologist is not there on site, the images can be transmitted to another location and reported immediately in real time, so that emergency medical care can be delivered, because as we know, without diagnosis there is no treatment. So the ability to deliver an instant radiologic diagnosis is facilitated by the use of telemedicine, teleradiology and information technology. So information technology is starting to play a big role in medical imaging and radiology in the form of teleradiology, and allows us to provide high quality diagnostics to very remote areas in India and in the world. The imaging technology by itself is also evolving very rapidly. We have ultra fast scanners, very high resolution scanners, CT scanners, MRI, PET CT. All of these technologies have evolved very rapidly over the last decade. But the result of all of this is that the imaging volumes continue to increase. The number of scans, the number of images, the amount of data coming out of it is increasing very dramatically. And so the new frontier now is going to be the use of artificial intelligence to be able to analyze all of this data, all of this radiologic data that is being generated. So our company, Teleradiology Solutions, was founded in 2002. I am a radiologist by training. I did my MBBS at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, as well as my MD in radiology, and then I relocated to the US. And in the 1990s, I observed that the ability of hospitals in the US to have scans reported from off-site using teleradiology, and I returned to India in 1999 and conducted some experiments with my alma mater, which was Yale University. And we were able to show that teleradiology could be conducted for American hospitals from India. So this prompted me to start the company in 2002, and our work was initially focused on delivering emergency overnight reporting services to hospitals in the United States. And since then it has grown and evolved. We are covering hospitals in about 20 countries, over 150 hospitals. So we are able to provide not only emergency reporting within a very short time frame, as short as 10 or 15 minutes for a hospital in any part of the United States. We can provide a report within a 10 or 15 minute time frame. Beyond that, we are now providing services in Africa and Asia. Through our Telerad Foundation, we provide reporting free of cost to hospitals in remote parts of India and Asia. And we have developed a technology company, Telerad Tech, which is developing cutting-edge technologies in the space of telemedicine and telehealth, including a radiology workflow called RadSpa, which allows for radiologists to report scans very efficiently for hospitals in any part of the world to connect with radiologists and acquire their reporting services in a very efficient manner. Now this technology has artificial intelligence tools incorporated into it, which allow radiologists to become more efficient, more accurate and more productive in their work. So as we know, radiologists today are overloaded with work. There is the volumes of images that are being generated are continuously increasing, and the number of radiologists that is available to report them is just not sufficient. So the use of information technology in the form of teleradiology was the first step, and now we see the future as being the incorporation of artificial intelligence technologies into radiology interpretation. So what artificial intelligence can do by using techniques such as deep learning or machine learning is assimilate large amounts of pattern recognition data into their systems and allow a computer algorithm to differentiate a normal from an abnormal image and to detect certain lesions, for example lung nodules or early stage breast cancers, or for instance blockages in vessels such as embolism in the pulmonary arteries. These are all tools that artificial intelligence is now developing, which can allow a radiologist to become more accurate in interpretation and also facilitate the more efficient reporting of such cases by prioritizing studies which have significant findings and allow them to be reported first over the other normal studies. And overall, the impact of radiology on healthcare will be facilitated by the adoption of artificial intelligence tools. I think we are at the beginning of a revolution in this regard. There is a lot to come, and we are in for a very exciting journey. In India today, breast cancer is a disease of growing concern. A woman is diagnosed with breast cancer every 4 minutes, and a woman dies of breast cancer every 8 minutes. India has the largest number of breast cancer deaths in the world. This is a disease which, if detected early, can be cured. But the problem in India is that breast cancer does not get detected early. Most commonly, it gets detected in its very late stages. So the screening for breast cancer in the form of mammography is a very important part of early breast cancer diagnosis. In itself, mammography is a very powerful technology, but in combination with artificial intelligence tools, the early diagnosis of breast cancer can be greatly facilitated. And this is the innovation of the future. The incorporation of artificial intelligence into mammography will transform the management of breast cancer going forward.